Tesla shares tumbling more than 8% today, the worst performer in the S&P 500. Its worst day for Tesla since early October. The stock is now down 29% this month, 61% this year. It is the worst performance ever by the stock across both of those time frames. Are there more shoes to drop, Dan? Or, Carter put out a note. He said, this is time to nibble here.
Yeah, it might be. I mean, look, the stock is obviously pretty pressed to the downside. But what's going on here is the guy who's the CEO of the company is selling stock. And he's been selling stock aggressively. And why is that? On the date that he closed on the Twitter deal for $44 billion, Tesla stock was $227 billion. We've been saying this on this desk, that Tesla is on the hook for all of this. Tesla's shareholders. Because right now, what's really likely happening is there's a margin call. And the people that he pledged the stock to are selling the stock to raise the capital for it. And so think about all of that that's gone on just because he wanted to be the guy who owns Twitter. I mean, it's just that simple. So to me, I feel sorry for a lot of these Tesla shareholders, the fundamental ones who believe in him in the long-term story. But if you look at the holders,
you feel sorry for them?
I feel sorry for them because he's been asleep at the wheel. He's sold them a bill of goods. I've said it on the show. The guy's a liar, okay, just flat out. And he said he was done selling stock how many times over the last year? It's just a fact. I mean, you can look at me, you can roll your eyes, you can tell me whatever. He lied to his shareholders, and he has been not there for them over the last 2 months when the stock has massively underperformed the NASDAQ over the last 2 months that we've seen a huge rally. So to me, I feel sorry for them. But the rest of the shareholders, you know what's really interesting? They're all indexers. And 2 years ago, on November 16th, the S&P added Tesla to the S&P 500. The stock doubled, and the stock has round-tripped that entire price. It's trading exact price of where it was on November 16th when S&P said it's going into the index. So sorry, people.
By the way, the 8% drop today in part because a couple of banks lowered their price targets. Evercore cutting it by a third to $200 a share. Daiwa cutting it to $177 from $240. It's definitely Elon Musk related. Brand destruction over at Tesla, distraction. Those are the reasons, Karen.
Right. I think with Twitter not doing well and that debt being very expensive, it's understandable that he would want to equitize some of it if he could. So maybe he's looking to buy back some of the debt.
Right.
Needs to get the money from Tesla shares being sold. I don't know. I'm not sure. But I do think that he has damaged the brand. I don't know that it can be. I don't know. Let's say he gets a new CEO into Twitter tomorrow. Does that stem the bleeding? It might, for briefly. I don't know.
It doesn't change the need to sell stock.
It doesn't.
Even if he's not CEO of Twitter.
Right. But we don't know how much stock he's sold.
Right.
And we don't know about the debt. We have no idea how much the revenues are down, how much money the company is losing. We don't know any of that. So it's sort of hard to say. But I think that when you're saying it's Tesla's sort of bill to pay, you're saying in terms of shares.
Tesla shareholders have been on the hook because the only way he was not selling. Liquid enough, he had to pledge all his shares to buy this.
But here's one thing that's a little bit, he's been selling $3.6 billion the other day, maybe sold a few more billion. This is a gigantic company. Shouldn't it be able to withstand a few $1 billion of sales?
Except
that it's from the CEO.
Right, which is a totally different signal to its shareholders.
But does a signal, I don't like Tesla anymore? Or, oh, God, I need the money for something else?
I need the money for something else.
That's what I think it is.
Yeah. Which you think is not as bad.
I do think it's not as bad.